Hello, everyone. Welcome to show number 2 in the gray area. And to just jump right in, today we've got a team focus, the Houston Texans. Okay. You look at last season, they went 4-12 with Deshaun Watson. Now, I know I said this was a team focus, and it is, but a lot of my talk here is going to be about Deshaun Watson. Okay, so Watson actually led the NFL last season in yards with a 4-12 team. Okay, and he had a passer rating of 112.4. Now, a passer rating, all it is, it's an overall rating using completions, yards, touchdowns, interceptions, passing attempts. Okay, and it just gives you this score from 0 to almost 160. And only Aaron Rodgers got higher than him on a passer rating. So he is a star quarterback, like up there with Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. He's on this team that isn't working, apparently. So if my point here, if you can't win with Deshaun Watson, you're doing something wrong. Because he's a star quarterback, and you go 4-12. 2 of those wins were versus the Jaguars, the worst team in the NFL last season. Watson, he's been unhappy with the Texans for a while. In last March, they traded his star receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, without telling him. Also, they hired a general manager that they said we're gonna let you help in our hiring. Tell us what you want. And they didn't do that. They went out and hired a general manager, and Watson gets angry with this. And Watson has now made it clear that he would like a trade. So let's look at the possibilities here for the Texans. Deshaun Watson stays. If he stays, you've already got this star quarterback, and did it go well? No, it didn't. So what is it gonna get any better? Probably not. Probably not. If he stays, it's just going to be kind of like last season, I think. But regardless, it's going to be a little bit before the Texans are good again. So, I don't know exactly what would happen if he stays. He doesn't want to stay. He doesn't have a good relationship with like his head coach and whatnot. So, yeah, there's that. He could also like kind of do a little protest thing where he sits out the season because they won't trade him. That's a possibility. I kind of doubt that he would do that though. There's retiring. 25-year-old could retire. I highly doubt that. And then there's being traded. Watson has said he'll go to three teams. We've got the Dolphins, the New York Jets, and the Carolina Panthers. In a sec, I'll tell you which one I think would be the best. A lot of people say that he'd be really good for the Broncos. And they've got everything that they need for Deshaun Watson there. It would be amazing. It would be a tough division. You got the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and then you've got the Chargers and Justin Herbert, who, they're going to get good soon. Justin Herbert looked amazing. He had almost Patrick Mahomes-like numbers in his rookie season. That was amazing. So it'd be a tough division for him still. And you also have the Raiders and Derek Carr. They're pretty good as well. They beat the Chiefs last season. But that is not one of the three teams that Deshaun Watson said he'd go to. You've got, I think, the best team for Deshaun Watson would be the Dolphins. Pretty obviously. The Dolphins, they went 10-6 without knowing what they were doing at quarterback. They had Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua, these both below average quarterbacks, and they went 10-6. It was pretty good. They almost made the playoffs. They were this close. Won their last game, they would have made it, but they didn't. So I think Deshaun Watson at the Miami Dolphins, that'd be pretty cool. They're a good team, the Dolphins. So I think that would work out pretty well. The Jets or the Panthers or the Dolphins, I think, would all be better than the Texans staying here, or Deshaun Watson staying with the Texans. That not very good relationship with the front office and Deshaun Watson, I don't think that would work very well. This is a team focus, so I'm going to give you this last little analysis on the Texans. Some people say the Texans are the worst franchise in the NFL. I don't know if I could agree to that. I don't know if there is really a worst franchise. Regardless, the Texans, they aren't very good. They have a star quarterback, Deshaun Watson. I don't know if he's staying there. I could very likely see him being traded. And they've got a ways to go, just as an overall franchise. I don't know what's going to happen there. So, moving on to part 2 of this show I have here. I've got some fantasy football tips of my very own. Now, if you don't play fantasy football, you might not find this very interesting. I encourage you to play fantasy football. It's a lot of fun. I played for my first time this last season. It was a great time. I went 6-7 in my overall season. I don't play the whole dynasty league thing. I play just you draft, you play with your team, and then it's done, and you'll redraft next season in a new league or whatever. And I realized, before I go into these tips, I realized that I'm going to be, some of the people that see this are going to be people that I will end up playing against in fantasy football. And I'll be giving away some of my strategy. That's just the price I pay for running this show. For this little bit I have here, I didn't really look up statistics for it. I'm just giving you my thoughts, my tips real quick. And I will revisit the fantasy football closer to fantasy football season. So first thing I have this theory. You look at Travis Kelce and Darren Waller, the top 2 tight ends last season, and they're both really good. They get a bunch of points every game, like 20, 22 points per game, and it's like amazing. And then the average tight end will get you 10, maybe 12 points. It's this huge gap. You got Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, next guy, whoever was number 3, like Mark Andrews or something. And it's like, well, obviously you want one of those 2 guys. So I think you draft a star quarterback, either Travis Kelce in the first round or Darren Waller or George Kittle in the second round. And so you already have this huge leap in tight end as opposed to everyone else. Whereas like you can find other star running backs, wide receivers. There's a lot of those, but there's just very few tight ends. So after you get your tight end, you get those wide receivers, running backs, those good players, and then later, 5th, 6th, 7th round, you get a quarterback because everybody only needs one quarterback, and then you can have a backup. But your starting quarterback, it can be just some guy who's good, because the average quarterback, as opposed to the best quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, it's just like a 5-point per game difference. It's not a whole lot. So you go and you get a later quarterback, and tight end, Travis Kelce 1st round, Darren Waller, George Kittle 2nd round. One of those 3 guys. Now the draft isn't the only thing. You have to stay active and use free agency. Get those guys that nobody has that, oh, they just got good and they're getting lots of points. Oh, I should go get them. Yes, do it. Now, my team last time, like from my draft to the last day, like a third of those players are the same. Most of my guys came from free agency, and I did some trades with the one guy who was willing to trade. Everybody else was like, no, I'm not trading. It was kind of annoying. But yeah, so stay active, get in free agency, get those guys. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. If you want to play fantasy football in a league versus me, that'd be great. Hit me up on like Instagram or something. I love playing. So yeah, that's it for my show in the gray area. Hope to see you next time.